Hello, welcome back to Krakow Creations. Today is part 2 of the overview of the basement and park before Christmas decorations begin. But it does look like we already have an addition down here for the Christmas holiday. We've got this giant Mickey, and yes, it does sing and talk, and it's movable. Let's go ahead and put this on here, and then we'll show you guys what I mean here. So there's a sensor in the scarf there, and see if we can get it activated here. It takes a little bit of time for it when I plug it in. But that has been an addition to the wall art over here. We're gonna probably gonna shift that over a little bit and then put the Christmas tree up right here, down here in the basement. Let's see if we can get that activated here. There we go. And so, yeah, it's pretty loud too.
Isn't Christmas just the greatest time of the year? The twinkling lights, the snowy nights, and
So
best of all,
that's kind of a cool addition for our decorations down here. And so I thought I'd show you that. That kind of goes right with the all the wall art here. We're gonna put the tree up there. And so we thought that was kind of a cool little product there. So let's go ahead and get back into the park here, and I wanted to show you guys the condition of the other side of the park here. So last time we talked about Main Street and Tomorrowland here a little bit, and we did talk about the resorts. I do have an addition, like I said, to the resorts. We're going to be adding building to the Floridian, the Grand Floridian. What else do we have going on up here in this area? I'm contemplating remodeling the monorail track and really taking these pieces all the way across. It won't be movable. The monorails won't be able to move, obviously, but I might just bump up and correct the monorail tracks there. Right now I've got them bending around there, and I might thicken them up. It's something that I've been throwing around for a while, but let's go ahead and get to where we were the other night. Before I do that though, I do want to show the contemporary. I got a couple comments and some requests to show inside the contemporary here. I am still going to be working on some of the areas back there where you walk through. That's kind of the seating area where we look out the windows and that. So I've added that a little bit. So I'm going to probably put in that slot there and that slot there, just to kind of round that out in there and get tiles on the floor as well. But there is Mary Blair's mosaic there on this side. And I did do some, I do have the monorail there, but I've got artwork next to all the doors. So anything that I could pick up out of the Lego collection that I thought fit there. I know it's decorated as the Incredibles right now. But here's the other side then. And yeah, I do have security. I think I showed that last time, but I love showing the security guys down there. Shout out to those guys. And then the store, and then the 5-legged goat there as well. So anyway, that's the contemporary. I've got to get that lit. I've got to do a lot of tile work. But as we come over here, I wanted to show you guys back here into Tron, and I'm going to get into that area there. I'm going to get into the area over there and back there to kind of show you the panoramic view of the park there. So first, let's take a look at Fantasyland from this vantage point here. Got a lot of tile work to do, but I've got to do some improvements on Filler Magic. So let's kind of zoom in there past Miss Piggy's fountain from Hollywood Studios that I kind of placed over here since they took that down. And so I've got to work on Filler Magic. Peter Pan's right next to it, and work on some of the, like I said, the groundwork there with tiles. So let me get into this area back here and give you guys some views of behind Snow White's the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. All right, and here we are back here on the side of Fantasyland. And you can kind of see up towards the park there. We do have the teacups there, and the backside of the Great Goofini, or the I'm forgetting it right now. The Barnstormer. The Barnstormer. Jeez. And so we've got some tile work down there. I'm probably going to continue there and probably put some of the floats over here because I'm running out of space down Main Street as well. There is the double Dumbo ride right there. And that's been updated a little bit with the queue line there. I've got just a better circus tent there. And then I've got them back here as well. So back here next to Ariel's ride, I have the circus tents there. And I've got to do some updating on that. And a lot of groundwork back here. You see I'm kind of in the midst of putting in this train station here. For Fantasyland, so that's coming around over here. And I do need to get the train going too. Somebody mentioned that as well. I've got to get the train going. The back of, I do have the plans for the back of Snow White's cottage there too. So I'm going to close that in too. So what I'll probably do is take out any detailed work inside so I can use that other places in the park here. So I won't leave that material in there because we're not going in there or showing in there. So I probably will take that material out and use it in other areas just to, save on pieces and that. So also back here we have, I kind of constructed and rebuilt this aerial set back here, the Little Mermaid set, to kind of fit the ride. So I've just got it sitting there. It actually is on the train track right now, so the train will not be going. But I'm going to try to get that set up so it looks more that we're in the ride behind the queue line here. So we've got the queue line, and there is Ariel and that front facade of the ride there. Then as we go down further, we do have Belle's Castle, and yes, I know it's big for this area, but since they made that, I thought it was perfect. It doesn't dwarf or take anything away from Cinderella Castle. If it was too big, I would probably not have it here, but looking from the front, it doesn't take away from the castle, so I left it up here. And hopefully soon I get that lit up. I'm waiting on some lights to come in for that. And we'll get that lit up for the nighttime showing as well. But that is the restaurant there, Berry Guest Restaurant. And then as we look right over, Filler Magic was added a while back. Oh, and this way as well. And I'll get a different angle of that from here. But if you see the Winnie the Pooh ride, right there, I'll get that from that other vantage point over there. Right now I want to show you behind the park here. So I'm going to leave the video on. So as we get under here, let me get back here. And behind the park, we do have room back here. So the room is, I do have room for expansion. And yes, what you see here is going to be for Villain's Land. So I'm waiting to see. I've just watched a video tonight, actually, DSNY newscast I watched on, some of the concept art and what he's thinking about is going to be going in there and what he's heard. So that will be extended, and I can bring this all back. So if I get my vantage point over here, I can bring all that back to the back of the basement here. So, and I've got that table ready, and then as you can see here, this gives me an opportunity then to get, if I go into here, sorry about that shakiness there. So I'm behind Fantasyland now, and I've got this area to work with, and I can get in there, and I've got lots to do in this region here because I'm right behind the Haunted Mansion, and we'll be coming down and then building into here. So I've got a lot of uneven surfaces here. I'll probably get coverage for all that and start creating that back in between Big Thunder here and the Haunted Mansion. So that's kind of what that looks like right now. You got to get a good vantage point of Fantasyland from this angle here and down to the park. Again, lots of tile work needs to be done there and minifigures placed. But that's kind of what we look like from the back here. And we see the back of the Hall of Presidents there in Liberty Square. So I'm going to get in this area here right now. But let me see if I can zoom in on the front of Winnie the Pooh. So the Adventures of Winnie the Pooh there. It's the front queue. That's about as close as I can get there without squeezing into this area here, which you can imagine is hard. So I'm going to get into that area there, kind of talk and show you guys that region. I'll do that right now. All right, and here we are back behind the castle. There's another shot there of the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Let's see if we can get a little closer. There's the front there with all the different activities for the youngsters to do. The queue line. And so as we span back from there, again, here we are looking at the Cars expansion. And this is the rendition that was the first concept art. So it doesn't look like anything like this in the new concept art. We're going to have to move a lot of things around, which is a little disappointing because I thought I kind of captured it pretty well if you look at those original images. So we've got the mountain over there, snow-capped mountain there, and that main bridge they had. And so we're going to be changing that around. Here's the A-frame queue line that they have. And so we'll be changing that. Back here we've got the geyser. So we've already started getting some materials here to get the landscape back here for the ride. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get in that little area right there and give you guys a viewing from that area. We can look down Main Street. We can look into Adventureland there. Let me do that right now. All right, and here we are in that little area right next off to the side of the Cinderella Castle, and we're looking back down towards the train station, right down to the behind the partner statue there. And as you can see, we get a better vantage point of those trolley tracks that we have going down Main Street, that new addition. And it's pretty busy down Main Street. So lots of people always talk about how it wasn't busy enough. I know I've got some area like right here, but I had some floats there. But I wanted to get all the minifigures out. I don't have them all out there. I've got more, but I will be doing that soon too. I still got a little parade going on down Main Street there. But as we turn around here, you guys can see, here's the Crystal Palace. I did have some questions about that. And we've got Pooh and the gang there at the Crystal Palace. That's who you see there for the dining. And that turned out real well. I used one of the botanical garden sets and kind of morphed it into somewhat like the Crystal Palace. I think it's a decent rendition of it, I think. So that turned out really well. I've got the water there. I like that that aspect of that set there too as well. So I adapted it a little bit. And some of the trees and that, I think those are really neat. And then Adventureland sign. That's one of my favorites that we have. And that lights up so well too. But I think that's just spot on for that build's just spot on. I just think it's really nice. And then we've got the Magic Carpet Ride of Aladdin. And then we look over and we have the Jungle Cruise, which is pretty expansive. That's one of the, when I changed the park over here, I really concentrated on expanding that. It was one of our major builds when we moved the park across the basement. And we've got all kinds of Easter eggs in there. Too much to go through right now, but we will, as time goes by here too, do some closer videos of that as well. And then we've got Pirates of the Caribbean over there. Kind of talked about that on the last video there on the part 1 of this. And then we've got the Tiki Room, which I got a lot of work on. I've got some disarray over there, as you can see. And then we have the Country Bear Jamboree right there. I think that turned out really well. Love the porch with those printed pieces. And then we've got Tiana's Bayou Adventure, formerly Splash Mountain. We've converted that. We've got the ride vehicles in there. That turned out really well. And I really like that ride. We went down there this past summer, and I really like the overlay that they did. I know it was an old ride. I wish they would have kind of done where they're doing the Cars Land area. It would have been nice to have a dedicated area for Princess and the Frog. That would have been neat with a restaurant and the whole 9 yards. But I thought it was really a neat update. So as we look back here, there is Big Thunder. And, let's look into Liberty Square. Forgot about Liberty Square. And we have the Hall of Presidents, and we have Lincoln's animatronic right there. And the Hall of Presidents. And then that kind of rounds it out a little bit. So, getting a little lengthy with this, so I wanted to at least show you guys before I put the Christmas decorations up. I'll be putting them, I really concentrate on down Main Street. So if you haven't seen that in the past, you can look in the past. I'm going to have a couple wrinkles of that this time. So we always try to do a little different every year. So until then, guys, check us out. If you know anybody that likes Lego or Disney, send them to our site. We really appreciate it. I love the follows, love the comments. And until next time, guys, we will see you soon. Bye-bye now.